Ladies and gentlemen, podcast listeners of all ages, are you bored with traditional and dull real estate content?
Yes!
Do you want to be entertained by the most successful, innovative, and forward-thinking industry professionals?
Yes!
Do you want to elevate your business, be challenged to take action, and raise the bar in your personal and business dojo?
Yeah!
Now welcome your ninja host, Jeff Fitzer.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode of the Real Estate and Mortgage Content Ninja Podcast. And today I bring to you a very exciting guest. This gentleman is a jack of multiple trades. He has become a very good friend of mine, and I have a lot of experience with this gentleman. He is the Chicago video dude, the greenscreenmarketing.com. He is a better dancer than Michael Jackson himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Barr, welcome to the show, my friend. What's up, brother?
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Jeff. I taught MJ everything he knows.
And if you are listening to this show and you don't know what I'm talking about, go stalk my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and you'll find out what I'm talking about. JB has some moves, and I think that is a good segue, Justin, into what your profession is, which is video editing, all things video. And so let's start by telling the listener a little bit about your background, where you're from, how'd you get into the business? Take it away.
Well, I got into video many, many years ago, way before everybody else jumped on board. I used it as a expression, a gateway to just be myself and entertain my audience and do something with my time. And I found that back in the day when I was exercising video and nobody else was, I sure got a lot of attention. And it was awesome. I loved every minute of it. And then soon, in order for me to, keep evolving, I had to learn how to become a good editor, because the audience wanted a little bit more of what they were seeing. So sooner or later, I became a really good editor. And the next thing you know, a couple years down the road, people started asking me for my services, which was basically my editing services and my creative mind that I've always used. They wanted me to help them produce videos in multiple capacities. And that's basically where I am now. Fast forward 10 years, and I left my corporate job 3 years ago and started my own, video marketing company.
That is awesome.
And that's what I'm doing right now. And it's pretty awesome. The goal is basically to make everybody a star on social media. Whatever I can do to help out with that through conceptualizing the idea or sending me the footage to edit or just being the actual person who does the video recording, I can offer multiple ways to help people in their videos.
Let me backtrack a little bit. So the way Justin and I met, and I don't even know if Justin knows this, but was through Mike Cuevas, through the Attractor program. And again, Justin may not know this, but I was very interested in video. This is going back about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, when I, from a sideways angle, ended up finding Justin through Mike. And I ended up stalking Justin. I saw a video and I was like, damn, that guy's really good. That's really funny. And before you know it, you click on his video. The algorithms, they end up knowing what you want to watch. And so all of a sudden, I started seeing more of his videos on Facebook. Before you know it, I was taken off to YouTube and I was checking out his channel. And the point of me saying this is that Justin did this as a hobby, realized that he attracted people and got engagement, and realized, okay, I could make this into a business. And the point of the conversation today is that you as real estate agents, you as mortgage professionals, this is that light bulb moment that you should have already had, actually. But maybe this is the extra push to push you over the top to realize you need to integrate video in your business. So Justin and I want to talk about a couple of things today. One is his expertise, which is green screen marketing, which is getting in front of the camera and letting your personality be seen. But that may not be for everybody. So we're going to talk about other forms of video and other ways you can integrate video into your business. But Justin, let's talk about what it was that essentially attracted me to your business, which was watching you in your videos, how you conveyed your personality, some of the things you did, which were not always green screen, but it was creativity. So you just started doing this because you just liked being in front of the camera. You were doing it as a hobby. What is it that created this sense inside you that said, I'm going to create a music video or whatever it was?
Nobody knows unless you show them, unless you tell them. So none of my friends knew that, well, a lot of my friends actually knew I enjoyed dancing, but all my other friends that I met to live in true Chicago, they would never have known that I enjoy dancing unless I put myself out there on video. They may not know that I have a good personality unless you put yourself out there on video. So all these agents across the country, across, everywhere, unless you really put yourself out there and showcase the talents that you do have and use video as the medium, they'll never know that you're, have a good personality or you're very likable or you're a comedian and you're funny. Your close network of friends may know that, but video is all about attracting business and showcasing your personality and ultimately being likable. And there's ways to do that through video. And green screen marketing is something that I found is just very different than what everybody else is doing. It involves so many different, styles. It just looks good on camera and people respect, I think, the fact that it's different.
And I think the one word that comes to mind with what you just described is authenticity. And we talk about this all the time with video and being authentic. And it's literally a great debate on video. And I'm going to use an example of the video I shared with you the other day. I shared multiple places, but I shared it with Justin specifically, jokingly saying, hey, we need to raise the bar. And it was a real estate agent out of San Diego who, the song now escapes me. It was
Wake Me Up Before You Go.
Was that what it was? Yeah, it was like a George Michael song or something like that, or Wham. And the entire video was this guy doing the Carlton. It was a property video where most property videos, it's an agent holding a camera where the camera's shaking, or maybe they even do it somewhat professionally and somebody else is holding the camera and you're walking through a house saying, this is the kitchen and this is the living room and here's the den and here's the pool. Wow, it's so cool. But everybody's doing the same thing. So there's that great debate of a lot of people say, well, I'm going to keep it professional and you're a clown or you're an idiot. But the reality is this guy got, I don't even know. Last time we checked, I think the views were approaching 100,000. And I watch most people's videos, or I'm keeping an eye on what's going on. And I know most agents who put out just the boring, generic, quote unquote, professional videos get maybe 100 views. And those views are probably 3 or 6 second views, which most videos are. But I'm the proponent, and I think Justin agrees with me, of being authentic and putting yourself out there a little bit. And maybe you're not goofy by nature. Justin is very goofy by nature. I have some goofiness. That's not an insult. If you're watching this, you'll see his reaction. He almost fell out of his chair. But the truth is that if you have the desire to put yourself out there and to be authentic, find who you are and what you are and speak about it. Make that your message. That's exactly what Justin did because, like you said, he's a great dancer. And again, I implore all the listeners to go find Justin via greenscreenmarketing.com or as Justin Barr on YouTube, Chicago Video Dude, and you will see a lot of creativity. And that's exactly what I did. I found ways to make it my own because I'm not Justin Barr. I can't dance like Michael Jackson. But we found ways to be creative ourselves. And let's take it down the path of, let's start with green screen. All right. So give the listeners a background. If they don't know what green screen is, let's talk to the listeners because some of them may not even know what that is and how it works and what they have to do and talk about green screen.
Absolutely. And then just to touch base real quick on what you said, be about authentic and being true to yourself. And I found that that's where I found the most success was when I was just doing what I naturally thought I did best and wanted to do without giving a care in the world what other people thought. So that's kind of where I just put myself out there, and I'm very glad I did, or else I wouldn't be where I am right now. Green screen. The green screen is interesting. It's fun. It's basically a cloth that you put on the wall, and the green screen is the one color supposedly in our skin, the pigment, that we don't possess. So you can isolate and separate the background. And when I say green screen, just think of the weatherman. They have a green screen behind them. And you can, traditionally, back in the day, people would just put a waterfall behind you and you would talk in front of it and it would look kind of generic and, not too exciting. But I want to say, raised it a notch and was able to do many different things with the green screen. I can position people in different parts of the screen. I can add text. I can add music. I can add graphics. You can tell stories with the green screen. You can chop it up and make it just fun and personable, and there's just multiple ways to grab somebody's attention rather than doing a traditional talking head. And I think...
And let me stop you right there real quick. Talking head, if you don't know what that means, that is your traditional. So you go onto Facebook and you see somebody sitting at their desk. I'm guilty of it. I do it a lot. Or you see somebody at a house and they're holding the camera and they're talking. That's a talking head. That is very, very common. It's never going to go away. But Justin's point is, this is how you differentiate yourself. So if you only have less than 10 seconds to catch someone's attention, do you have a better chance in doing so as a talking head? Or do you have a better chance in doing so if there's something popping in the background?
And my most successful service or product I offer are the introductory videos. If you're going to invest in your brand, invest in yourself, you should invest in a video that you're going to be able to recycle on so many different platforms. And it's going to have the longevity of it is going to be a couple years. You should figure out a way, if it's not green screen, figure out a way to invest in a professional introductory video that looks like, you actually care about your business and your brand, and you want to use that as something that's memorable rather than introducing yourself behind a desk. It's short and sweet, and with the introductory videos, they get to the point and they're professional and they stand out. And those are really the ones that... What's exciting is I could offer this service across the country, because all you have to do is invest in a green screen, and there's certain templates to follow, and then I become your ultimate editor.
It's a good point. And there's a couple topics that I want to go with from there, but let's start with the first one, which is, okay, he's the Chicago video dude. You're thinking to yourself, all right, I'm in Maine, I'm in Oregon, I'm in Florida, I'm in St. Louis, I'm in San Diego. How can I work with you? You're in Chicago. It doesn't work. Tell them how that works.
Just like Jeff said, I'm able to, if you're interested in this green screen marketing, what you have to do, the first step is to purchase the green screen kit, and it's actually much cheaper than most people think. It roughly runs around $150. And the green screen kit includes the green screen, which is, a 10-foot by 10-foot green cloth. It includes a variety of lights that you're going to use to highlight the green screen and actually highlight the subject, which would be yourself filming. That's really it. The other two items you would need to purchase is a tripod and a lavalier microphone. With those 4 items, which would be roughly, say, under $200, you have yourself a studio that you can really create all different types of videos. Now, you will have some homework, and that would be to create the script or to actually know what you're going to say and have the content ahead of time, because the green screen is not a type of platform that you're just going to want to talk for a lengthy time. It's kind of nice to have it scripted out. That way, everything you say is powerful. It gets to the point, because you don't want to invest, too long in a film, because everybody's attention span is short nowadays. So the green screen, you can basically set it up in your office, and what you do is you film it through your iPhone, you upload it to the internet, send it to me, and then I take care of the rest with my creative editing.
Exactly. And what you just said there, which is extremely important, and there were several pieces of that message, which is the strategy on how to be effective in your videos. So going back to what you originally had said, which was the intro videos, which is extremely important, because just as an example, in our business, we get a new loan officer. The first thing they want to do is they want to announce to their SOI, their sphere of influence, hey, I'm in the mortgage business. If you're a new realtor, the first thing you want to do is announce to your friends and your family that you're in the business. And what does everybody do? They might send out an email. They might send out a text. They might make some phone calls. But what better way than to really grab attention than to do it via green screen? It's an absolutely phenomenal tool to do so. Mm-hmm. But most importantly, the biggest mistake I see from most people is the lack of consistency after they've done that. That's the biggest message we want to get across. If you know me, I'm a massive proponent of video. I love video. I think it is the future. It's also the now. But we've only barely touched the tip of the iceberg on where video is going, and understanding it and using it effectively. You mentioned how much time you should do your videos, because the reality is our attention spans are very, very short. So you, me, and everybody else out there, I bet you if we watch 10 2-minute videos, we might watch the entirety of a 2-minute video 1 out of those 10. And what catches our attention? It's the content, it's the relevance, and then it's understanding. And I'm kind of going a little bit off base down the video path here, but understanding that not everybody is going to like your videos or like your content. And that's what I said earlier, which is find what is interesting to you or find what you're passionate about and make that the majority of your message. And then use these various mediums via video. So green screen, which like Justin said, I'm living proof of it, spent less than $200 on my equipment. I don't use a fancy camera. In fact, and I think Justin, you could probably tell the difference, but so I've shot a lot of videos with Justin. More than half of them have been from an iPhone. There have been some from a fancy camera when Justin was down visiting with us. But to the commoner, you're never going to be able to tell the difference between the two. You wouldn't know the difference. And the point is everybody out there has the ability to go buy a $12 tripod on Amazon. They have the ability to go buy a lavalier microphone for less than $15 on Amazon. They have the ability to buy a $150 green screen setup. That's exactly what I did. And then you start creating your own magic. You learn how to direct, which Justin and I is something that we've kind of worked together to perfect. And you direct these videos. You create them yourself. You can even do some basic editing, ship them off to Justin, and then he makes the magic out of them. And that's...
And that's the thing, because Jeff, like you say, it's also when you have that time with the real estate agent, you're creating that rapport while you're filming. The key is just to get these agents into the office. And now you can use green screen as a heck of a recruitment tool. That's something where if you're trying to recruit agents and you say, hey, we have a green screen setup, check us out. The agents are going to love the fact that you're investing in marketing and you're able to promote them using the green screen. And that's a beautiful thing. And it works in all different ways. And that's why as a mortgage professional, what better way to try to get them, working for your brokerage than offer them these services? It's all about what the brokerage does for you. Isn't that right?
Adding value. Absolutely. And the same principle applies across all platforms, not just mortgage and real estate, but even for, like I said, just like a real estate agent, how do you differentiate yourself from all of the other real estate agents? And how, as a loan officer, do I differentiate myself to my audience, which is the realtors, from all of the other loan officers? And what better way to do it than try to get creative with your video? It doesn't mean you have to be dancing around all the time, but it does mean that you have to think outside the box a little bit. And if you just want to talk about, what the market's doing or, the inventory problems, and you want to talk about topics that are only interesting to us that are in the business, you're not going to gain an audience. You're not going to entertain people. You're not going to gain followers, and you're going to go nowhere with it. And so it's one thing to use video, which is very, very important to start doing, but then it's another thing to execute on the video. Let's take another step on the video talk. And so we've talked about the green screen. I think everybody has a pretty good grasp of that. And if you want to know more, obviously we're going to get you connected to Justin if you need to be, or I can help you with that. But let's talk about just so many other ways that you see, because you work with a lot of real estate agents. What are other ways that you see real estate agents or mortgage professionals using video in their business?
There's many ways to use video in the business. Real estate agents, for one, obviously property tours is a huge way to showcase the property. It makes you look good for the seller. It makes you look good on the internet. It ranks your videos higher. So a lot of agents have been using videos for their real estate property listings. That's something that's a little more challenging, where you can videotape it yourself, but you do want a smooth flow of the video. You don't want it to be shaken around. You want it to look professional. So that's, you would probably outsource a video guy for that. Content education is a great way to use video, just to consistently keep yourself on top of mind. And the thing that you were discussing earlier about, nobody would know the difference between the iPhone and a fancy camera. You're 100% correct. Now, I own multiple DSLR cameras with all different types of lenses. But when it comes to, real quick, a green screen video, you're not changing the depth and the focus. You just setting a camera up on a tripod. And nowadays, these smartphones have amazing cameras. And I couldn't even notice the difference between the video that I shoot on my iPhone or a video I shoot on my DSLR. But when you need to get a zoom lens, that's when you would need a different type of camera. The video, when it comes to agents, there's introductory lifestyle videos, which are great. There's property videos, holiday videos, there's personality videos. The way I look video is that it's all about grabbing somebody's attention, creating awareness, and building your brand and keeping yourself on top of mind by doing something that people enjoy watching. I feel like it's more of an entertainment value now for others than, well, there's obviously educational parts as well. But I think just having a variety is the key to building that full circle of your brand.
And I don't know that there's any scientific evidence to prove otherwise, but when it comes to content, and again, this is very debatable and a lot of people have a lot of opinions, but when you actually read a lot of the professionals and you read and you watch and follow the people who are doing this successfully, there's a lot of them out there that are doing this now in various industries. I do believe that the 80-20 rule applies to video, and that is 80% of your video should be non-business related and 20% should be business related, because you can't get away from business altogether. You still have to remind people what you do. But if you're constantly talking about a subject that is not necessarily relevant to the majority of your audience, i.e., buying a home. If I bought a home recently, I'm not probably buying for at least another 5 to 10 years. And if I took out the mortgage, same thing. Odds are I'm probably not taking out another mortgage anytime soon. So this message isn't relevant to me. So yes, you have to remind them. But at the end of the day, you're trying to attract an audience, whether that be, if you're in my business, I'm trying to attract real estate agents. And so when I hear the opposition or the naysayers say, oh, you know, your videos are cute and funny or whatever, but I don't understand the relevance because you're not educating people about mortgages. Well, newsflash for you. Most real estate agents know just enough to be dangerous with mortgages. They know plenty. They know that we all have all these programs. They know that we have this marketing. They know that interest rates fluctuate. They know all this crap. They don't need to keep hearing it over and over and over again. What they do need to do is they want to work with somebody that they know and that they like. And so the whole idea behind the video is to create content that will attract a broad audience. And like I said, if beer is your passion, I've said this to a realtor before who told me just that. I said, perfect. Make a series about breweries or make a series about beers that you drink and you become the beer drinking realtor. And all of a sudden, you now have an identity that is way better than Joe Blow realtor. You're the beer drinking realtor. And yeah, sure, that's not going to appeal to everybody, but guess what? You're not going to appeal to everybody anyway. So focus on, what your passions are. And for Justin Barr, it's dancing and putting out unique content. I can't say this enough. You need to watch his stuff. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. My dancing days, they're not over yet, but I was definitely more in my prime a couple years ago. But it's funny, like real quick what you were saying, my one buddy wrote on Facebook, he said, the right clients will call you for the right reasons. You don't need every client. You only need the right ones. And that's so true. And fear is really the biggest obstacle everybody faces. I love character. I love acting. However, I need to get over the fear of just putting myself out there and just talking like a normal human being and not always hiding behind a character. And I think if you're truly authentic to yourself and, you may not always have the proper speech and, pronunciation with words and all that jazz, but as long as you're real to yourself, people will accept you for who you are. I always think of Ellen. Ellen, when she talks, if you ever watch her talk show, she's always stuttering. She's always just kind of like blah, 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 and it's not like she really is a great speaker, but she gets the point across in her Ellen ways. I applaud her for that. So it's authenticity and not worrying about what everybody else thinks.
That's so true. And that is the biggest fear. And people have asked me before, I'm sure they've asked you, well, you're really good at it. Do you think that I just was born to be in front of a camera? No, I'm not an actor. My first video was a Facebook Live video, and I'm not even kidding. It took me about 2.5 hours. After knowing I was going to do this, I'm not even kidding, sitting there staring at my notes, staring at my computer. Am I ready to do this? I was nervous as hell. My heart was pounding out of my chest, and I'm talking to a camera. It's crazy, and I think the message that we want to get across by saying that is that we're all in the same boat. We've all been there. And still to this day, and Justin, you probably can agree to this, I mean, I'm almost 2 years into doing videos now. I've become much more comfortable and I've become much better at it, but I still every once in a while will get butterflies depending on what I'm doing just because, hey, I mean, we're putting ourselves out there. And frankly, there's a lot of ruthless people If you're in a group like I am with lab coat agents, for example, like that video I was talking about, that guy got blasted. I mean, if there was 200 comments, 190 of them were positive, but there were those 10 jerk-offs who just, I don't know, they just hate their lives.
Maybe they're jealous because they're not doing it.
I don't know what it is, to be honest with you, but for whatever reason, there's always a naysayer, but that's always going to be the case. It doesn't matter who you are. Somebody's not going to like it. Somebody's going to have something negative to say, and you have to get past all that. Don't worry about what people think. If you worry about what people think, you will constantly stay back in that little corner that you've always lived in, and somebody else is going to get seen more than you. You know, here we are today having this conversation because I saw Justin. And so his business has, you know, obviously added clientele because I was entertained by his videos. That's it. That's it. And although you do something different than I do, there's a connection there. And that's the whole point that we want to get across to anybody who's listening is if you want to grow your business, you need to integrate video into it in some capacity. You need to talk to guys like us and let us help you create a strategy or come up with a plan or just give you some advice. I'm passionate about it because it's in my business. You're passionate about it because it is your business. You know, we just want to help people do that. I would say the number 2 reason that people don't do video. So let's just say they get past their fear. The next excuse is the investment, right?
Yeah. The investment as far as the investment on the actual tools that they need to use?
I think actually paying for the videos. I think, you know, anybody's willing to go buy leads. They're willing to spend money to make money, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the hardest thing with video is sometimes you're not going to get a direct ROI. It's not a lead. Just because you create a video doesn't mean it's going to turn directly into a closed sale, right? But you're building a brand. This is the long game. And that's why when we said it earlier, if they're going to do video, you got to have a plan in place to do video consistently and then execute it.
Video is, you know, obviously so transparent, but it's the best and most efficient way to connect to your audience. If you own a website and a visitor goes to your website and there's not a video on it, then I think you're missing out. You're losing out on actually connecting with that guest and making them get to know you on a different level over text or a picture with a little paragraph underneath it. You know, video, once you break out of your shell, there's just so many different ways that you could connect with your clientele, whether it be, you know, making you the expert or selling them on your personality or just entertaining them. There's some component of video that's going to attract the right business. And that's great that you found me just through my entertainment, because that's really what I wanted to get out of it, was to entertain people and make them smile. And my goal is to make people stars in their own space. And if you're not invested in video, then you're just sitting on the sidelines watching the game unfold. And
exactly.
And video also, I think another thing is, you know, fear is one, money is obviously two, but then just where to begin. You know, having a video, dude, is crucial because you don't have the time to learn how to edit. And that's something that I've learned how to do because I know the typical agent is busy enough as it is. So if you don't have the time, you have a resource like the Chicago Video Dude who can do the dirty work for you, and you can focus on your other tasks. And that's where, you know, just knowing the know-how and learning the basics of it. You know, when it comes to video in itself, there's 3 things that everybody should own. It should be 1, a camera. You already own that through your smartphone. 2 is a light source. It's very cheap. You buy umbrellas off of Amazon for $20 because lighting is key when it comes to video. And 3 is a microphone. Those 3 components increase your production value so much, and it's only for $50 or less. And that's all you need to produce great quality footage. And then ultimately, if you don't want to learn how to edit it yourself, you can send it to me, and there it is.
Exactly. And for anybody who's curious about a strategy, I guess I shouldn't say that I have a concrete strategy, but my strategy is to be diverse. And so there are spurts when I'm putting out all green screen, and there are spurts when I'm putting out talking head stuff. But I think the important message to get across is that, you know, so what my strategy is I've made my passion is my running and my goals and setting high goals and achieving them. But I still have to remind people from time to time that I'm in the mortgage business. I still have to brag on my people from time to time. And I still have to be real, which is my family, because that's also something most people can relate to. to me, it's really those components, and then changing up, going from doing some green screen to doing some stuff in my office to doing some stuff at the lake to doing some stuff at home, changing the background, because if I'm always standing in front of the same background, it gets redundant and
keep them guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you want them to be interested as to, oh, what's he talking about today? At the end of the day, the content is going to be what sells it, because if you have interesting content, or if they're interested to hear what you have to say, no matter what it's about, that's what's going to draw them in. And that's the whole point of video versus typing something in text or pictures or still photos. And like I said, I'm a big fan of this guy because he's brought me out of my shell. If you'd asked me 2 years ago what I'd be doing and have created some of the videos that I've created, I'd say you're high. I would have never been able to foreshadow it. And now when Justin and I sit down and have, kind of brainstorming sessions, the creativity and the laughs that come out of the room sometimes are awesome, because you and I, we start putting our minds together and we start, incorporating unicorns and crazy crap into our videos, because it's become that game of how can I entertain my audience? And even though half my audience may never even use me for a mortgage, they're going to remember me more than most. And if nothing else, that's the point, right?
There's no ceiling in creativity. If you can envision it, you can create it. I'm starting to understand just the transparency in video and being myself. And I want to create a series where I'm just walking around Chicago, but I keep on walking in different parts of the city, different neighborhoods, and videotaping myself with my stabilizer, just to have a different background and have it be moving and have the variety, and let the audience know like every video you're going to see is different. And that's the key, is to differentiate yourself. Yeah.
It keeps them guessing and it keeps them interested. And that is absolutely the point. And I do believe that going forward, that's the thing. So if you haven't integrated video yet, you're already behind, because the next trick is to video is, whether you like it or don't, the evolution of video is going to be creativity. And again, there's going to be the naysayers, and they're going to hate it, and they're going to say you need to remain professional. But I'll put my money on creativity and uniqueness and authenticity ahead of professionalism all day long. And there's a certain twist between the two where you can mold them together.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, getting the viewers to watch more than 10 seconds, those are going to be the winners. Even you and I were probably just as guilty of it as anybody else. If you don't catch my attention in the first 5 or 10 seconds, I'm out. Everybody's that way. People tell me that all the time. They tell me, oh, yeah, I watched it for half a second and moved on. You didn't catch my attention. It's like, damn, all right, well, I'll try on the next one. That's the moral of the story here, is differentiation and building your business by creating your brand and being unique needs to happen via video, because there is no other medium that's like it.
And you'll be surprised when you do post your first video and the support that you get.
100%.
And that right there is what drives the gas. And that will then lead on to the next video. And the next thing you know, you're really excited about producing these videos. No matter what, unless it's Facebook Live, you can always delete and re-record until you're satisfied with your clip. And it's not that you're doing video in front of a live audience and you're on stage. Most of the time, it's just me and my client. And that's their biggest fear, is like, oh, I'm so horrible in front of the camera. Well, you know what? Most people are. But we can continue to shoot this video until we get the clip that we're both satisfied with. And until that comes, let's just keep practicing. And then slowly you'll build your confidence. And by the end of the day, you'll have a video that I will be able to touch up and add my magic and make it more exciting for the viewers.
110%, my friend. I love it. I love it. So, Justin, let's talk about how the listeners can find you if they want to create some magic and have you turn it into even bigger magic. How can they get a hold of you? How can they find you?
You can visit ChicagoMaleEscorts.com. It's you have to be over 18.
That's funny. Don't listen to that.
Yeah, that's a joke. So you can visit greenscreenmarketing.com if you're out of the Chicago area. But even if you are, you can also visit that. And Chicago Video Dude. They both go to the same domain. They can also YouTube me at Green Screen Marketing, or type in Chicago Video Dude. Chicago Video Dude is more focused on the production, non-green screen videos, so neighborhood videos, lifestyle videos. We can get fun and make music videos, outside in the city. those are really the platforms. And you can obviously email me at greenscreenmarketing@gmail.com.
Awesome. Film yourself, email it to him, and he does the editing.
I'll do the rest.
What better platform is there for you? And this is crucial for those of us in this business. Ladies and gentlemen, video is where it's going. You can fight it all you want. So you're either going to adapt or you're going to die. I choose adaption, and you should too. And I highly, highly, highly recommend this guy for your green screen editing, for your video editing, because he does a fantastic job. He will come to you also, by the way. So if you're in various parts of the country, he has traveled to Miami or Fort Lauderdale. He travels to St. Louis once a quarter. He's gone to San Diego. He's gone all over the place. He will do that. And so I highly encourage you to check him out. You will not be disappointed. Feel free to check some of my stuff out because he's done a lot of that magic. And if you're watching this, you can see that it's not natural. So Justin has made me much cooler looking than I really am. And I thank him for that. Justin, thank you for being a guest on the show today, brother. I appreciate all that you do. And I look forward to making much, much more magic in the future, my friend.
I like it. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
If you're looking to elevate your business, aligned with continual innovation and evolution, Jeff wants to talk to you. Go to FitzerMortgageTeam.com and connect with him today.